starting with the Gentleman Psychic, our very own spectral Bob Ross. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Richard-Lael Lillard. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You have a canvas already prepared?
I do have
you've started.
Prepared. I do have. I love this space. There's a lot of interesting energy that's here. It's vaudeville, and so there's a plethora of a lot of joy. There's some sadness. It's a really mixed bag, and tonight
Right.
that's what I'm going to be showing in my drawing.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Stafford Palace Theater is a historic vaudeville theater space that then was converted into a movie theater. Has a long history, and we're going to learn a lot about that. Let's go to Richard-Lael. Richard-Lael, oh my God, you have a ventriloquist dummy, if I'm not mistaken.
There is a ventriloquist dummy. Like I said, originally the fellow that I see, he's a middle-aged man. He's a little bit heavier. He's a little bit more bald. But I wanted to pay homage. I whoever that soldier was, he felt like a soldier. Whoever he was with that ventriloquist doll, it was uproarious, and it was kind of, now it would be really creepy, but then it was really kind of fun. So
Right.
That's what I'm working on, and then I'm
fantastic. And if any of our viewers are in the Ohio area, there is a museum that has a collection of over 300 historic ventriloquist dummies, all in 3 buildings. And they have an annual convention of vents, as they are known amongst the industry. Ventriloquists call each other vents. And many of the historic dolls, of which I must say, looking at their website, that seems to be very indicative of some of the more famous performers from the vaudeville area. That looks spectacular and or scary. Let's connect back to Richard-Lael to see his painting while Courtney goes up the stairs. Richard-Lael, oh my gosh, what? I'm digging the hairdo of this.
I know. So
he's got a good hairdo. He's a well-dressed gentleman.
I know.
For a sinister man doll who died of a heart attack.
What? How did the man doll?
That's what I felt. It was like, he was not the doll, but there was a man who he feels like he's more in an office, who died of a heart attack. I keep getting like chest pains.
Yeah.
And,
there's a book about 50 to 60 performers who died on stage, and they sort of list them chronologically. And a couple of them were ventriloquists. Most famously, it was the guy who played Hitler in The Producers, whose name is escaping me, but he died on stage of a heart attack. For 15 minutes, the audience laughed.
Yes, I did see that. They thought that he was
that was
joking.
a bit. Yeah, that was a bit he was doing. So I imagine that this is not an uncommon experience, that if you have your comedy chops so highly honed, that even dropping dead keeps the audience laughing long after you're gone.
I hope that happens to me.
I know. Well, I mean, there's worse ways to go, right?
There are worse ways to go.
If you live a life of a performer, then your last epic thing would be entertaining an audience as you go. So
exactly. Of course, actually, dying alone in your bed is boring. So
right.
I like the idea of sort of going out with a shock.
Right. Dick Shawn is the actor we're looking for, who played hilariously. If you watch The Producers, he is Hitler.
Oh yeah, I keep on hearing the songs.
You think about when people would have gone to the theater, if they were feeling depressed, they would have gone up to the balcony and they would have sat in the back away from everybody. It's one of those places where you would have been alone. So I expect there's probably a lot of residual and active hauntings up in the top there in the balcony. So I'm excited for this.
The top has an old projection room too from the 30s or 40s.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, she'll find that. I already showed it to her.
we're asking about your sinister, your painting's taking a sinister turn.
Well, to every side there is another story. So,
Wow. Okay, let's hear it.
well, my thought is, yes, there's a lot of entertainment. Yes, there's fun. Yes, there's games. You know, who was that song? Back, the Tears of a Clown. So it's sort of, yes, it's great for the audience to go in and let go of all of that energy, but it has to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And so it is absorbed on stage, and it is absorbed by the performers and by their dummies. And I wanted to show both sides. I wanted to start off a little bit happy and then go a little bit more dark.
I see. Did you ever see that movie Magic? Anthony Hopkins' first starring role as him as a ventriloquist dummy. As a ventriloquist, and he had a dummy that had a life of its own. Did you see that movie?
I did not see that movie.
Okay, it's terrifying, and this looks a lot like that guy from the movie. I'm just saying.
Good. Well, then those who are in the know will definitely feel its presence when they look at this long after the show.
No, I'm terrified. Just look. Normally we go to you to just lighten up the mood, but now.
Well, you know what? I'm a theater nerd. We discussed that a little bit on your show. I'm a theater nerd. I grew up in the theater, and there's a lot of psychology about actors, and for me, I wanted to be somebody who was other than me. So when I was on stage, I could do that, and then that weird kid was somewhere in the wings.
Right.
So
That's you.
That was me. It's two sides of the story.
Fantastic. And for those who are wondering what we're talking about, Richard-Lael Lillard was a guest on my long-running podcast, the Chill Pack Hollywood Hour. We talked about his history. Anyone who wants to learn everything about him, the Gentleman Psychic, as we call him, our very own spectral Bob Ross. He gave me many details of his path to how he got here, including a fun time in Vegas. I'm sorry to bring that up, Richard-Lael.
No, it was one of my favorite of all time things. That time in Vegas,
right?
You know what they say. What happens in Vegas
stays in Vegas. That's
not
bringing it up.
Oh wait, what?
Oh, I am bringing it. Yes, but you also, as a Freddie Mercury impersonator, sounds also fascinating. So, anybody wants to hear that show, you can go to Chill Pack Hollywood Hour and check out the entire history of Richard-Lael Lillard. Let's check in with Richard-Lael Lillard one last time. Let's see his painting. Look
at that.
That is fantastic.
Read it, but it says "Scared and Alone."
Richard-Lael, that's so good.
Fantastic.
I love that.
As always, you can find all of his work on Instagram, Twitter, wherever the great visual digital pieces exist. Thank you so much, Richard-Lael Lillard.
You're welcome. Courtney, breathe.
Yeah, can we do a Richard-Lael
cleansing breathe? Yes, let's. As we end every Scared Alone lately, let us have a cleansing breath led by Richard-Lael. Go ahead.
Okay, 3 breaths into the nose, out to the mouth, and we'll hold it for the count of 3. Into the nose. 1, 2, 3. Out to the mouth. Into the nose. Out to the mouth. 1 more. Into the nose. Everything is going to be fine. Make certain that you get mundane, that you eat something that is a little bit salty. Saltier than, of course, those jokes that we told during the show. But something salty.
Those were corny, not salty.
Corny, that's it. That's the word I was looking for.
That's right.